Join me as I challenge myself to live a week as a minimalist and see how it really impacts my life. Minimalism is no longer just a buzzword. It's a lifestyle that's gaining traction with everyday people who are seeking simplicity in their lives. From decluttering their homes to living more intentionally, people are embracing the idea that less can be more. When we think of minimalism, we often think of extreme examples: people living in tiny homes, owning only a few possessions, or going without certain luxuries. But the reality is that minimalism looks different for everyone, and it's not about depriving yourself of things you love, but about living more mindfully and focusing on what truly adds value to your life. One of the biggest challenges people face when trying to adopt a minimalist lifestyle is getting past the idea that they need to get rid of everything they own. This misconception can be overwhelming and lead to burnout. Another common misconception is that minimalism is only for a certain type of person, the young, the wealthy, or the childless. But the truth is that minimalism can be for anyone, regardless of their circumstances. You don't have to be a certain age, have a certain income, or live in a certain type of home to adopt a minimalist lifestyle. What's important is that you're willing to make changes and live more intentionally. Some people think that minimalism is only about getting rid of physical clutter, but it's also about decluttering your digital life, your relationships, and your commitments. It's about living a life that's aligned with your values and priorities. Minimalism is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's a journey that looks different for everyone. And it's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional and making progress, not perfection. Imagine waking up every morning feeling clear-headed and focused, without the weight of clutter and distraction holding you back. That's what minimalism can do for you. By letting go of the things that no longer serve you, you can make room for what truly matters. One of my favorite stories about minimalism is about a woman who was struggling to make ends meet. She was working multiple jobs just to make rent, and she felt like she was drowning in debt and clutter. She decided to take a minimalist approach to her finances and her belongings, and it completely transformed her life. She was able to pay off her debt, save money, and even start her own business. She realized that the clutter and debt were not the problem. They were just symptoms of a larger issue: her lack of intention and focus. Another example is a couple who decided to downsize their home and simplify their lives. They were able to free up more time and energy to focus on their passions and pursue their dreams. They realized that the bigger house and all the stuff that came with it were not worth the stress and anxiety they were causing. By living more simply, they were able to live more abundantly. Minimalism is not just about what you get rid of, it's also about what you gain. It's about gaining clarity, gaining confidence, and gaining a sense of purpose. It's about living a life that's true to who you are and what you value. I had a powerful insight about minimalism when I realized that it's not just about physical clutter, it's also about emotional clutter. It's about letting go of the past, letting go of fear and anxiety, and making space for what truly matters. One of the most transformative moments for me was when I realized that I was holding on to so much emotional baggage. I was holding on to grudges, onto regrets, onto fears. And I realized that I didn't have to carry that around anymore. I could let it go, and I could make space for what truly mattered. And that's when I started to feel free, truly free. When I challenged myself to live a week as a minimalist, I realized that it's not just about getting rid of stuff. It's about creating space for what truly matters. It's about living intentionally, living mindfully, and living a life that's true to who I am. And that's what minimalism is all about. Thanks for joining me on this journey into minimalism. I hope you've learned something new and been inspired to take control of your own life. If you've had a similar experience with minimalism, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more about lifestyle changes, be sure to check out my next video on intentional living.